Welcome to the podcast known as Blending the Family. I am your host, Tommy Maloney, and this is going to be a special Parenting Tip Tuesday episode. How are you doing? You doing good? You're probably asking, Tommy, that's me, what's Parenting Tip Tuesday? From time to time on a Tuesday, as today, I will do a short podcast episode and just give you some parenting tips, some things that I've thought of that I want to share with you. Or in this case, we recently had Terry Gaspard on the podcast. She has a new book out called The Remarriage Manual, How to Make Everything Work Better the Second Time Around. I will put her information in the show notes. But after reading her book, after talking to her, I started thinking, because this happened to me. So my first book, 25 Tips for Divorced Dads, some moms got a hold of the book too, and they're like, this isn't specific for dads. This could be for both moms and dads. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I'm a dad, and that's why I wrote the book. But anyway, so Terry's new book got me thinking that some of the information that's in her book could be used, and we mentioned this in that podcast episode, that there's information here we parents can use for our kids. And so there are going to be three things I want to talk about that I got from Terry's book. Again, The Remarriage Manual, How to Make Everything Work Better the Second Time Around. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is being positive. And in her book, it's chapter 7 actually. Let me just get the specific name of this chapter. I've got all this book all marked up. Here we go. Chapter 7 is, don't make a big deal about nothing, but do deal with important issues. Okay. She has in the book something called 6 Strategies for Increasing Communication and Creating Loving Intimacy. Okay. Well, here are 2 things I took from a parenting point of view with the 6 strategies. So, one of the strategies in this chapter says, catch your partner doing something right and compliment them for it. Oh gosh, excuse me. Good thing I had water. So once again, catch your partner doing something right and compliment them for it. When I read that, I kept thinking, again, as a parent, this is something we can use on a regular basis. I know our world isn't always going to be positive. I know there's days where there's negativity, but what a great tool we can use when we see our kids doing something right. We compliment them for it. It could be a young child, maybe 4 years old, saying please and thank you. It could be our teenagers, and they could hold the door open for somebody, or they could clean the dishes when they didn't have to be asked. We can give them a compliment. The other part of this chapter was, again, from the 6 strategies for increasing communication and creating loving intimacy, was number 6. And this is where I really think that we can really help our kids with this one. So number 6 is, remind yourself of your partner's positive qualities and express your positive feelings out loud several times each day. So let me read this, but let me add parenting to it. So remind your kids of the positive qualities and express your positive feelings out loud several times a day. So, for example, listen to their point of view and adopt the rule of maintaining a 5-to-1 ratio of interaction. for every negative interaction, you need 5 positive ones. So the point there is pointing out on a daily basis positive things, 5 positive things. If you say something negative like, why is your room a mess, or something along those lines, now we need 5 positive pieces of motivation to bring it back. Because, you're an adult, I'm an adult, we're going to focus on the negative. We're not going to focus on the positive, okay? So spread more positivity in our kids' lives. I get it. Again, not every day, as I like to say, not every day is going to be unicorns pooping Skittles. Number one, I don't like Skittles. Okay, just saying. All right, so number one here is more positive or showing positive. Number 2 is love. And this comes from Terry's sixth chapter. And one of the things I took that I needed to do, not only with my wife, Anne, but something that I actually wrote in my first book, 25 Tips for Divorced Dads, is to tell our kids that we love them every day. I have been slacking that. I will admit that. And we live in a society where our kids go hungry. We live in a society where we don't know day to day what's going on. But if we can have some consistency saying to one another, especially our kids, I love you, imagine how impactful that's going to be. So again, we as parents not only need to say I love you to our significant other, but we need to say it to our kids every single day. So that's number 2 on my list of this Parenting Tip Tuesday. And number 3, money and finances. Okay? Money and finances. Some of the things that... So in Terry's book, she has a lot of case studies. So a lot of couples, names were changed to protect innocent, talked about their finances. And some of the couples talked about hiding finances, like having a separate bank account, or not telling their significant other that they had a lot of credit card debt or loans, college loans. This is where that we as parents need to step up and be honest with our kids when it comes to finances. So for example, my wife and I on Sunday nights, that's when we talk about our finances and see where we're at, good in the good sense of, all right, let's take some of that money and move it to one of our savings accounts, or do we need to maybe pull some money because we had some extra bills that we didn't foresee. This is information that our kids need to be a part of. If you have teenagers that are going to be heading out to college, for example, they need to know this. They need to know how to handle their finances and to be honest with the parents when they're in trouble. And I firmly believe if you're having early open dialogue with your kids, this will be such a huge life lesson for them. So one of the examples I've talked about in the past on this podcast is my wife and I went to Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University class through our church. We went through it twice. The first time because it was on Sundays and just there was bad timing as far as extracurricular stuff. Between the two of us, we made every meeting, but that was between the two of us, not always being there together. Then we went through it again, and we went to every meeting afterward, and it really helped us. I tell people, that Dave Ramsey course saved our marriage. Well, the first time around, I brought the boy, Connor, with me because I wanted him to hear from somebody who went through bankruptcy, who had financial struggles, and I wanted to have open dialogue with him. And I hope that because of that experience, because of having conversations about where I was financially, he knew and he's known for many years I struggled financially. And it wasn't until my wife and I sat down and said we need help, and started going through that course, that Dave Ramsey course, and we had people in that same room that were having the same struggles, and we could have honest conversations and hear from people who had gone through their struggles and went from getting out of debt to becoming financially free, so to speak. So that's what I wanted to bring up, and that's what was jarring after talking to Terry about her new book. So the three things I want to leave you with, again, show more positivity with your kids, pointing out the good things they're doing, okay? Number 2, love. Again, tell them that you love them every single day. And number 3, again, was money and finances. If you're somebody who struggles with your own finances, there are several online courses that you can take. I like I said, we went through Dave Ramsey's course, and it was very beneficial for us. So I would highly recommend it. I don't get paid to endorse it, or am I endorsing it? I don't know. I'm just saying I liked it, and we still use a lot of the tips and tools from going through that. And like I said, our Sunday nights we talk about our finances, and these are just 3 things again that just came to mind that I wanted to share with you. Like I said, these episodes are quick, short, to the point, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say to you. I will end it like I normally end it. Your success is my success. The great quote from a great man, Terry Crews.